Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your live Manchester City trip to Crystal Palace and the 3 p.m. kickoffs, as well as Newcastle go to Brentford and Southampton go to Aston Villa. We're expecting goals at Brentford. Strong wins in the UK prevented featured watch-along today, which was going to be Everton against Liverpool. That got cancelled. I'm not surprised because it's absolutely horrible here in the UK. I hate it. My Christmas tree's been blown over outside. My bins have been blown over. It's been like it for 24 hours. It's probably going to be like it for another 24 hours. It's just horrible. I mean, the rain is bad. Snow I can put up with. Frost I like. Sun, fantastic. But wind, ugh. Yeah, no, just not up for that at all. So, yeah, lots to get involved in. And thanks everyone for tuning in. Let me just get the timer ready for you as well. We've not had 46 minutes, no. It's the same in Belgium. Wrong thumbnail, apparently. I didn't know that. Let's have a look. Yeah, Liverpool, Man City. That's wrong. We'll change that. We'll change that, you pedantic shit. Okay, let's go with that. OCD. Yeah, let's go through the team news. Look, I think Man City are going to win this. I'm only really doing this because I just felt like doing a watch-along before the Man United game. So, yeah, there are other games going on as well. De Bruyne starts for Man City. Ruben Diaz, Vardiel. The players that he had a tantrum with all seem to be back in the team now. Haaland. So, Ortega, Walker, Diaz, Vardiel, Lewis, Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Savio, Mateus Nunes and Haaland is the team there. Henderson, Chalobah, Lacroix, Guehi, Muniz, Mitchell, Lerma, Hughes, Sarr, Eze and Mateta. I just think Crystal Palace will make light work of them today. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. They're ready to go here. They're a little bit late, actually, but off we go. Okay, there are other games as well. I think Newcastle at Brentford is going to be very interesting as well. Looks like Ederson's going to be second choice now, says Awoken. Yes. I'm delusional, apparently. I've not even said anything delusional yet. So what am I delusional about, Hood Plays? Please tell us from your hood, from the hood, what I'm delusional about, because I'm up for a little bit of a debate if you want one. You said Palace will make light work. Oh no, I mean Man City. Well, I am delusional on that one. I mean Man City will make light work of them, I think. Yeah, I don't see a scenario where Palace get anything here. As much as I would like them to, I don't see it. What's going on here? What the fuck? What's going on here? I'll do. Okay. We're in London, aren't we? Sellers Park's a tough place to go, says MRTE. Yes, it is. I tell you what, this wind is psychologically messing with my head. I just hate the sound of it. I don't know whether something happened to me when I was a kid with the wind. You know what I think it was? When I used to play football as a kid, if it was ever windy, it always got postponed. So I think it's just always been an irritating noise, high winds. It gives me anxiety. I just don't like it. And it's been going on for too long. I mean, who lives in a place with loads of wind? Loads of rain, yeah. Loads of snow, yeah. Loads of sun, yeah. Loads of wind, yeah. I fucking hate it. Anyway, there has been a few postponements today, but to be fair, most games in the Championship are going ahead. Just Plymouth and Cardiff have been cancelled. Blackpool and Bristol had theirs postponed as well. Crawley Town. But there are still a lot of games going on, even all the way down the lower leagues as well. So, yeah, Notts County got postponed. Nottingham? What's going on? What's going on with Nottingham? Have they got bad weather? I don't live there. I haven't lived there for a long time. I was born in Nottingham, but I don't know. Yeah, they have got 48-mile-an-hour wind speeds, to be fair. Yeah, it's much the same as where I live then. So, yeah, you know, it's not exclusive to where I live. Just to let you know as well, we are sponsored by Manscaped on the show today. Fantastic little bits of kit that you can get for your Christmas holidays as a gift or for yourselves. As always, we've got the fantastic 20% off with the code FOOTY. Links in the description. Scan the QR code and free worldwide delivery with that as well. I mean, if you live in England, don't get it delivered all around the world before it comes to you, but you know what I mean. They've also got the latest innovation, which I have here, which is the Chairman Pro, which is, it's not that one. It's not that one. It's not that one. I've got loads of stuff. Where is it? Oh, it is this one. It is this one. So the Chairman Pro, which is a luxury professional shave into your home, whether you're after that daily silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman Pro is your go-to for precision. It's got precision shaving, flex adjust technology, waterproof design, and it's got powerful performance. So get 20% off with free worldwide shipping. And it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Get in. Get in. We'll be back to Manscaped in a minute, but it's 1-0 to Palace. I don't even know who scored it. I don't know who scored it, but 1-0 Palace already. And this is a dream start here. Lovely play. Well, I tell you what, it just breaks down in the midfield. Will Hughes picks it up on the right-hand side. He might be offside. He might be offside. He might be offside there. Kyle Walker might be playing him on, but I think he might have just gone off a little bit too early. We'll have to get a bit of clarity on this. It was a good finish. Ortega tried his best to get onto it, but VAR is going to take a look at this. And I tell you what, if Man City get away with this, they're jammy gets. I think it's onside. A lot of people in the chat saying onside. Are you going to do Fulham Arsenal tomorrow, Shinobi? No. I don't think so. I'm going to do Spurs Chelsea tomorrow. I've got a few things on. Could be a good game, though. And it is 1-0 to Palace. Ooh, how's that? How is that, then? 1-0 Palace. And a fantastic start to this game. Manscaped, you got a right. You know, you assisted us. Well done. But a great start. And Palace leading 1-0 here. First goal in the Premier League this afternoon. And if you want to know who the scorer was, I can tell you it was Munoz. I probably pronounced it completely wrong, but a lovely assist by Will Hughes. Crap defending by Kyle Walker again. When are people going to get on board with what I've been saying for the last few years? He'd be playing for Leyton Orient if he didn't have pace. His positional sense is atrocious. I mean, it's absolutely atrocious. People get in on Trent. Here's a take for you, right? People go in on Trent Alexander-Arnold because of his defensive abilities. Kyle Walker is worse than Trent positionally. He's just always had, you know, super speed to recover. But the older he gets, the more of these mistakes he makes. The amount of goals he costs Man City and people don't talk about it. And then you've got absolute zooms putting Kyle Walker as right back in best ever Premier League sides. I mean, what was Gary Neville, Ivanovic, Lauren, Lee Dixon and everyone else doing? Playing fucking golf. They're having a bloody laugh. Kyle Walker's the best right back in Premier League history. He's pace. He's Usain Bolt, basically, in a pair of football boots. Oh, Haaland's through. Good save by Henderson in a one-on-one. This game is wide open here at the moment. I think it hit him in the face. I think it hit him in the face. It's a lovely ball. I tell you what, I still fancy Man City in this game. They're gonna carve chances open. There's no doubt about that. And he should have scored, Haaland. Really should have scored. De Bruyne with the weighted pass, and it was fantastic. And yeah, 1-0. I've got to change the score myself. Sorry, I'm on manual today, so yeah, I've got to do it. Yeah, he got hit in the face. Henderson. Well, good start here. We wanted a bit of excitement, and maybe Crystal Palace might have scored too early. Yeah, might have scored too early. But look at Kyle Walker's positioning here. It's absolutely shit. It's so shit. It's really shit. He's playing everybody onside by about 5 meters again. And it's a good finish, you know. I know what people are saying Ortega should have done better, but because he hits it so low, it's really hard for goalkeepers to get down. If he puts a bit of air on that, it's really difficult. But yeah, Brentford. Oh, we know Brentford are, I think, top of the league for home form. They're top of the league for home goals scored. They score a lot of goals. And I tell you what, it's not Kurt Zouma, it's Mbeumo. Because Kurt Zouma plays for West Ham. And it's 1-0. Brian Mbeumo makes it 1-0 to Brentford at home again. They're absolutely shit away from home. But at home, they're absolutely fantastic. They've scored again. You're going to get goals there. You always do. And they're leading against Newcastle already. 1-0 to Brentford. Lovely stuff. Any team news for United? I haven't heard any team news yet. Yoro starts, apparently. That's what I'm hearing. Mate, there's so many people leaking the team at Man United at the moment. I mean, I saw somebody yesterday saying it's Garnacho's brother. That I've heard of 2 players, and it's not Garnacho. So, I wouldn't tell you who it was anyway, but I can tell you who it's not. You'd be surprised. Because they're both playing well. Oh, shit. Anyway, yeah, it's being leaked quite a lot. So, Amorim needs to get to grips with that. Do you ever get that thing on your fingers where the side of your fingers, the skin breaks? It really hurts. It's like really painful. I haven't had it for years. I used to get it as a kid quite a lot. I don't know if it's the weather. But right, you know, like down the side of your nails there, the skin breaks. And I don't know what you can do about it. Is anyone a hand care expert? Yeah. Yeah, so team news for United leaking 2 hours early again. Okay, so apparently Mason Mount and Garnacho are back on the bench. Mainu, Rashford and Ahmad start for Manchester United. This all came in like 25 minutes ago. The person who's leaking it, I know who their source is. And just look at who's starting and you'll start to figure it out and look at their timeline. That's all I'm going to say. Because I'll get into trouble myself. Hey, I'm not the one leaking the team news. And I'm not the one who's putting it on Twitter. So, I've got a goal for Newcastle as well. And it's a very interesting one as well because the goals will fly in at Newcastle, at Brentford. They always do. And it's Isak for Newcastle, who I thought was injured again. But that's a good equaliser for Newcastle. I mean, what fucking Man United player leaks to a faceless Twitter account 3 hours before kickoff? I mean, this is the sort of fucking moron we've got playing for Manchester United. Yeah, let's leak to a faceless Twitter account who I just despair. And the fact is, they've been playing well this season. And they're leaking the fucking team out 3 hours before to some faceless fucking Twitter account. I've spoken to players. I'd never ask for the team news. It's bang out of order. You shouldn't do that. Just for a few likes on Twitter. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know it's a player, Greg. I know it's a player. Loads of people know who it is as well. And it's not Garnacho's brother. And it's not Garnacho. But But there's more than one United player leaking the team news. There's someone else doing it as well. I mean, what? How does their brain work? You're playing well for Man United, everything's going well, and you start leaking the team to a fucking Twitter account. Idiots. Absolute fucking idiots. What's your opinion on the Arsenal corner slander, says Prince? Is this a must-win for Man City, says Fraser? Absolutely. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. Let's get back to the football. 1-1 between Newcastle and Brentford. The goals will fly in. It's the place to be in the Premier League. When Brentford are at home, there will be goals. Newcastle are drawing now. He's equalised from an early goal from Brentford. But Man City losing in London. We're in London, aren't we? I always said Crystal Palace is a difficult place to go. They've got to keep at it here because Man City are a decent side and they will come back into this, I'm sure. Arsenal corner situation, Prince. I saw somebody... Was it Mikel? I mean, these podcasts must be doing shit. He was basically saying that after this period of time, you'd expect Arsenal to be, you know, a team that's got a style of play and not be so reliant on corners. And I thought, hold on a minute. I mean, this is the ex-player brigade again, isn't it, who just don't watch football. Arsenal have played some scintillating football in the last 18 months. Scintillating. They are very, very good at corners, and it gives them an advantage in tight games. But watch them against Sporting last week. That wasn't all about corners. They were brilliant. They do move the ball about. I just think Arsenal seem to get more stick than anybody, and I don't really understand why. But look, their set pieces, some people have got to figure out. This happens. It was like Pep when his football came along. Arsenal have found a way with set pieces based on loads of work, loads of analysis. I actually got a message from somebody from America who said, look at the Kroenke Sports Group. And it's all doing really, really well at the moment. And I just wondered, they said to me, I wonder how much of that is analytical. Because Arsenal have clearly spent a lot of work on set pieces, a lot of work. More than most teams do. I know Premier League clubs who don't really do any work on set pieces. It's sort of like, try and put it in the mixer, get your head on it. If you do, you do. You don't, you don't. Arsenal are analysing their corner set pieces to the, you know, minute detail. And you know what I would say about Arsenal as well? That they really do deserve credit for? The delivery. People talk about the movement. People talk about, you know, people barging people off, and that's very, very good. But the delivery is on point every single time. And it's not easy to do that. I watch United play, I watch other teams play. They get a corner, and the amount of times they don't even beat the first man, whether it's Declan Rice or Saka or whoever else takes their corners, it's always right in where it needs to be. And any corner that's in the right area is going to cause teams problems. On top of that, they're organised. So I think the delivery is fantastic. Blake says 24% of Arsenal's league goals come from set pieces, 29% of United's goals come from set pieces. Well, there you go. Arsenal scored 28 Premier League goals, only 7 from corners. Exactly. It's a myth, isn't it? You didn't react to the Mourinho's 115 comments. I haven't heard them, Parker. Oh, I did. Didn't he speak about it a while ago? Tony Miller, welcome to the Members Club. You're a legend. Thank you very much. Big Morph says, my missus hates the sound of my wind too. Can you do an Ange impression? Well, I might do an Ange impression tomorrow, mate. You know, I might do that, you know, but at the moment, so I'm just going to focus on the game here. Anyway, can I just remind you, we're sponsored by Manscaped. It's there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. They've got the lawnmower for down there. They've got the weed whacker for up the nose. They've got the brand new, as I said, Palace score again when I'm doing the Manscaped integration. I'm going to laugh. Oh, it's gone for a goal kick. The Chairman Pro Electric Full Shaver is absolutely fantastic as well. So they've got you covered. Precision engineering for your family jewels, but absolute leaders when it comes to male grooming. Delivered to your door, 20% off, free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY. You get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. So Christmas is coming. If you're thinking of a little stocking filler for yourself or for somebody else, get on it. Absolutely fantastic. De Bruyne nearly gets it into Haaland. He looks very dangerous, doesn't he? Very, very dangerous. Yeah, De Bruyne and Haaland, this is the problem, isn't it? They get them back cooking again, and it becomes very, very interesting. Euro starts. Well, what we had? We've had 20 minutes, so... I think they did right to cancel the Liverpool game, by the way, because some of the scenes look terrible up there, the weather. Right, let's get back to you. Rudolph the Red says, "Who's the player leaking the team? Mark, give us a clue." I'm not going to name them because it's not my place to do it. But the club need to fucking look into it because it's pretty well known in the circles of the media and who's doing it. And the fact that they're doing it to a bloody Twitter account that nobody even knows who it is. Isn't it Amarim's pants or something like that? It's shocking, absolutely shocking. And that's the, I just think it's low professional standards as well. I mean, I just can't imagine Virgil van Dijk or Mo Salah doing it for Liverpool. But I just don't get it. Just don't get it. And it's been going on for fucking ages. And they're damaging United. Like, they're damaging United leaking the team that early. We've had the team, I know people at United stand who've had the team 3 hours before kickoff. We speak to the club and they don't want it out until a certain time. And we've held on to it for hours before. And, over the edge from the box, edge of the box. They asked Mourinho what he thought of Pep saying he won 6 and Mourinho 3. So Jose said, "I won 3 fair and clean without 115. Brilliant, Parker. I love that. Absolutely fantastic. Well, he's not wrong, is he? Mohammed says you missed my super chat. He says, Lenny Yoro starts, Mark. Love from Iran. Well, we did speak about it, Mohammed. That's probably why, but thank you very much for your super chat. Love back. Rashford's not leaking the team, as far as I know. He's not the 2 names that are being given. How are Man City doing, Mark? I think they can get back into the game, but... there is a vulnerability to Man City these days. They're in! Go on, shoot, Ezzy! Oh, he got it blocked. Why didn't he shoot sooner? I think he would have been offside, Ezzy, to be fair. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on That's Football. Yeah, bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Thank you for everybody. Yeah, over on the United stand, 5:30 today. That game goes ahead. Only game called off in the Premier League was Liverpool-Everton. Man City probing, but Palace leading at the moment. Red Army says it's probably the match reporter. They get the team news early. They don't, mate. Mate, the team news came out at 10 to 3. We're not playing for another 2.5 hours post. Man City and wide. Oh, I tell you what. That was very nearly a goal. Gundogan shot from the edge of the box. And then we've got a goal coming in at Villa, but we nearly had a goal coming in at Selhurst Park. I think Man City will win this game. I'm going to go like 3-1. It would have been a lovely goal by Gundogan, by the way. Sort of dropped to him on the edge of the box, hit it on the volley, and then I think it was Savio who picked it up and shot wide. Probably should have done a bit better, to be honest. Aston Villa lead against Southampton. Villa could be going for back-to-back wins after a very difficult start to the season. And his name is... Well, it's Duran. I was thinking about a Duran song, but no one's going to know who Duran are. So I'll just say Duran. Duran has scored. And it's 1-0 to Aston Villa. Look, the Palace Man City game's good. There's a lot of action going on. Mohammed says it's either Onana, Ahmad, Martinez, McTominay, maybe Delo. Thanks, Mohammed. Yeah, the press don't get the team news early, mate. Not anymore. They haven't really got any sources. Will Hughes, and that's going to go for a corner. Duran's hungry like a wolf. Yes, Jaden, we love that. Well, boys. Her name is Rio and she takes it up. No, absolutely not. We won't be saying that. This weather's doing my bloody head in, I tell you. I just can't deal with it psychologically. It's killing me. Corner to Crystal Palace. Apparently, De Ligt has been rested for the game today. Minutes, you see. I'll tell you what, I hope it works out because it's a potentially difficult game for United today. Don't mind me says, why is leaking team news such a big deal? Well, I think when in the case of Man United at the moment, it's a massive deal because if you're Nuno at Forest, you've got no idea what United are going to pick, and that's an advantage because Amrim's been rotating so much. If you know 3 hours before that Rashford's definitely playing, Ahmad's definitely playing, then you can start to tactically prepare more than you can an hour before when the team comes out. So, yeah. I mean, some people think it doesn't matter, but it's also not professional as well. Like Ladios says, it's disrespectful to Amrim. It's petulant. It's arrogant. It's disrespectful to your manager when you're leaking information unless you've been given permission to do it. On the one hand, they don't wear jackets to back Mazraoui. On the other hand, they're leaking the team for what reason? Apparently Rashford isn't starting. That's just come in. Apparently Rashford doesn't start for Manchester United. That's just come in. I'll retweet the tweet for you so you can check it out on Twitter. @Mark Goldbridge. It's not my tweet. I'm just retweeting it. Shamoni. So nearly half an hour gone. Still. 1-0. And still 1-1 at the... Is it... Oh, what's the name of Brentford's ground? Good shot again. Good block. That was Man City on the defence there. Well, the interesting thing is that account who was leaking the team had Rashford starting, so... Right, I've done that. We've got another goal at Brentford. I don't know whether anyone in the chat's seen it. 29 minutes, 3 goals in half an hour again. Oh my God. They're just unbelievable at home, Brentford. Izzy Wizzy. It's Wizzer. I got that wrong as well. Well, yeah, it's 2-1 to Brentford. They are top of the league for home goals scored this season. And they are top of the league for home points this season as well. It's absolutely incredible. This is what we're here to talk about anyway, because it's football. They have scored 24 goals at home this season, I think. They're averaging 3 a game. And the closest to them is Arsenal and Man City. Man City have just scored. Erling Haaland, 1-1. Yeah, he's happy now. Wizards scored for Brentford, but City have scored against Palace. It's not Mount leaking the team. Important to see on YouTube. Liam says the storm is disrupting everyone. Stay safe. Yeah, I think there's a bit of a pushing where he's back there. Gives him the room though. I mean, they've not really looked at. I mean, Dean Henderson's in a terrible position, absolutely terrible position. But Vin says, "Who's leaking the lineup? Why are you gatekeeping the answer?" Because not leaking it to me, mate. I'm not being a grass. Go and ask the person who leaks the team. Is it Rasmus leaking the news, guys? No. There is a Sir Jim quote on the ticket risers, says Shah. Change the score. Yeah, reluctantly, I do need to change the score. I did say Man City 3-0. Oh, God, this fucking wind, it's really winding me up. Why is it winding me up so much? I don't know. I'm just fed up of it. It's been like it for 24 hours. I don't want to live in a windy climate. That's why I don't eat Brussels sprouts. Got a goal for Newcastle apparently coming in as well. It's just unbelievable. The amount of goals at Brentford is unbelievable. It is 2-2. We've had 4 goals in the first half an hour here. Absolutely incredible. Ten goal attempts for both teams already. Not each, but all in all. And Harvey Barnes has made it 2-2. Rashford's on the bench, apparently. Although somebody had said he was starting, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Man United's game is definitely going ahead. Yes, Dr. Dan. Goal kick Man City. So they've got an equaliser back, 1-1. Palace have looked a threat. They should have scored. They've had the chances to score themselves. Jordan C says, can Old Trafford handle the weather? That was a bit of a concern, to be honest with you. Bloody Christmas, my arse. What a game Newcastle against Brentford is. It is. It is. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. 111 miles of wind, says Job. You know what worries me about when it's windy? The roof. You know, if you lose a few tiles and stuff, so many people are going to lose their roof tiles over the next couple of days. You're never going to get a roofer to come round and fix it. Then it'll rain. Then you'll get a bloody leaky roof. Who keeps leaking the team? I'm more worried about a leaky roof. What's happened to Pope? He's washed, says Liam Vernon. Well, 33 minutes. Man City have got back into this. I did think Palace might have scored a little bit too soon. But Brian says, I think Crystal Palace are going to win this. Villa lead 1-0 against Southampton. Newcastle and Brentford are 2-2. Always goals at Brentford. But Lee Berman says the UK is getting battered like a haddock. Gurr lost both his front gates this morning. Rachel says, my dogs are going mad with the wind. Predictions for tonight, says King Shah. I mean, I need to see the team. I actually thought Rashford would score today. I mean, he still could score off the bench, but yeah, I fancy we need to win. Man United need to win tonight. I'm going to watch the United game. I think I'm going to have a curry, and then, or I might have pizza actually, and then I'm going to watch a Christmas film. I don't know what to watch. I watched that. One of you recommended it to me, The Holdover. I watched it, or Holdovers. It was actually really good. I enjoyed it. Never heard of it. Is Liverpool's game being postponed a disadvantage for Liverpool? Yes, I think you want to play those games, Seasham, and I think he would have. I think Liverpool would have won that, and then you've got 3 points on the board. Hood plays, Rashi starts, Garnacho played last. Apparently, he's not starting, but I'm only going off the news. Can't believe it's 3 weeks ago that we did the charity stream. That does seem like a lot more recent than that. Well, it's been a good start from Palace. I think they can take some positives from it. Considering Man City did have a big chance that was saved by Henderson. I commented on a post today, actually, just because we're talking about football. I commented on a post today about Van Dijk and where he ranks in Premier League centre-backs now. And look, I'm able to have conversations, as I have before, about how football evolves. I've watched all of the Premier League, so I know. Well, I feel I know. And where does Van Dijk rank in Premier League centre-backs? I thought last week's performance against Man City was just the epitome of a centre-back who is right at the top of his game. And I did say about Van Dijk about 3 years ago when they were winning titles in the Champions League. I said the reason you can't put Van Dijk in the category of a Vidic or a John Terry or Tony Adams or any of the other great centre-backs in the Premier League is longevity, because he'd sort of been at Liverpool for 3 or 4 years at that point. Well, he's been there for 6, 7 years now. Come back from a cruciate ligament injury. I think that Virgil van Dijk is in that conversation now with the Vincent Kompanies and the top centre-backs easily. I think it was Rory. I know Rory. It was Rory Jennings saying that Van Dijk's nowhere near Terry or Rio Ferdinand. Well, look, maybe he doesn't like Liverpool, maybe he doesn't like Van Dijk. As somebody who's seen the whole Premier League era, I think sometimes you get chuff monsters who were living up their mum's chuff and they start talking about people like Scholes or Keane and they never even saw them. But then you also get people who are old enough to see it but are blinded by history. Whereas I look at football pragmatically and I think, I can easily say a player from 20 years ago like Dennis Irwin is massively underrated, but I can also look at someone like Mo Salah from today and say he's massively underrated. I think Virgil van Dijk is in that conversation with the John Terrys and the Vidic's now, for me, as best centre-backs in Premier League history, because he's done it over a long period of time. He's into his 30s now. He's come back from a cruciate ligament injury. And I thought the way, especially this season, he's dealt with people like Haaland, etc. There's a maturity to his game now. I think he is in that conversation, and I don't really understand why people don't want him to be in that conversation, because when you look at the likes of John Terry, he played for very dominant Chelsea sides with very good partners. Vidic played with Rio Ferdinand. Van Dijk has had a lot of different partners and still, come through that. So I think that I think he's in that conversation now, because otherwise I'm a hypocrite, because I was asked this question 2 or 3 years ago and I said he needs to do it for a longer period of time. And I think he has done that now. So I think if he wins the title this year, he's got to be in that conversation. And also, he's a more modern centre-back than a John Terry or a Vidic. So yeah, I think he's in it. Any either-ors today, says Seven. Well, yeah, just give me some and I'll do them. Do you think the controversial refereeing decisions have gone down since the coup incident, says V? I think VAR incidents will come back. They tend to come in... a bunch, don't they? But I also think because it's they have been happening, but not in the bigger games. 72 degrees and not a cloud in the sky in Miami, says Who to Blame. Lovely stuff. Dan Hastings says, a tile flew onto a car, Mark. I'd move yours. Yeah. In Solihull. Thanks for these super chats. Renton says, is Vidic better than Ferdinand, Mark? And if so, Vidic better than Van Dijk? I've always preferred Vidic to Rio. To me, people like Vidic and Terry are proper centre-backs. Go and win every ball. Physical. I just preferred Vidic to Rio. He's one of my favourite players. So I know some people have different opinions on that. That's absolutely fine. So yeah, I'd put Vidic ahead of Rio. He had better leadership responsibility as well. I think Rio was more prone to, very good player, but he was prone to lapses in concentration and was more focused on his own game. I don't think he was a real leader, captain. I mean, Van Dijk's a captain. Rio was never a captain, really, was he? Vidic was a captain, Terry was a captain, Vincent Kompany was a captain. I think if you're a captain, that takes your game up to another level, because as a captain, you've got to know everybody else's job on the pitch, you've got to organise and make sure you have a good performance as well. So I think people forget that, is that if you're a captain of a team, you're almost doing double the job. If you're just focusing on your own game, fantastic. You can still be world class, but if you're a captain as well, I think that elevates you as well. Who do you... thank you very much. Good conversation, though. First name, last name says, I couldn't go to work today because my car got blown away. It's a good excuse. Man City are on the break here. 3 minutes to go to half-time. Kyle Walker is going to be part of that break. Savio shoots over the bar. De Bruyne is ridiculously good, says Dari. I think De Bruyne being back is massive for Man City, because he's just passing and the way he glides through a game. It's he's still got those qualities, hasn't he? Palace will do well to get something out of today. Still 2-2 between Brentford and Newcastle. Still 1-0 between Southampton and Villa. Villa leading 1-0 thanks to Duran. There were some games today. Leeds beat Derby 2-0. Sheffield Wednesday drew with Preston 1-1. Sunderland beat Stoke 2-1. Millwall 0-0 with Coventry. Just having a look who's playing. Birmingham 0-0. At the moment. They're on the attack again with Haaland into De Bruyne. The way to the pass there from Haaland is exceptional. And goes out for a throw-in. Do you like the Bamford podcast, Mark, says Peter? I don't really have time, mate. Palace on the attack. Muniz again. Yeah, I don't really have time, mate, to listen to any other podcasts, to be honest with you. Recreational time, I just don't really have it. I just try. I work and then family time, really. Cross into the box. Cleared away. Palace are playing quite open, I suppose, being at home. Possible the United game gets postponed, says Dr. Kempo. Not a chance now. Not 2 hours from kickoff. People have travelled from all over the world, mate. It's not gonna get called off now, mate. Well, never say never. Gary O'Neill said he drinks 20 cups of tea a day, apparently. Is that normal? Mate, Tanishq, if I drank... look, tea goes through me like a dodgy chicken burger. It's the worst one. I do think Palace are better with Mateta up front. None of this bloody Nketiah crap. Yeah, I can't. Tea's is, what do they call it? A diuretic or something like that? Diuretic Park. Loz says I'll be pissing like a fountain. When was Vidic United captain, says FPS? I don't know the exact years, but he was our captain for a few years. You know what? I never know the years that Vidic was captain, because I would say 05 to 10, but it wouldn't be, because you'd have... Neville was captain for a bit, wasn't he? He definitely was captain for at least a couple of years. Vettel or Verstappen? Just Darryl. Not a fan of either, really. Tea is diabetes in a cup, says Junior. No, it's bloody not. Only if you put sugar in it. Tea's not bad for you, really. Rodrigo versus Saka, says Cookie. Okay, first either or. This is Rodrigo from Real Madrid, by the way, not that one from Leeds. ...2010 and 2014 was Vidic. Thank you, Connor. Rub's in the chat. He says, how is the weekend going for all? Big game for Chelsea tomorrow. We're doing that as a watch-along, by the way. I mean, if Spurs lose that... could be really problematic. How is that not a foul on Will Hughes? If I tell you what, if Man City go and score now, let's give it a foul now anyway. Yeah, not had a goal in the Prem for a while. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Just wondered why this year you and Ben aren't doing score predictions. Apart from that, love the content, says Kieran. Mate, if that's your biggest worry about me and Ben Foster not doing score predictions, we don't do football fill-in together anymore. That was the one we used to do. It's a scheduling issue, that's why, at the moment. I spoke to him yesterday, though. Bit of head tennis around the Man City box. That should be about half time now. It's really windy here. Worried about the trampoline in my garden. Didn't have one last night, says Tom. Lovely stuff. It's the way you tell him. Ronaldo R9 or CR7 says don't mind me. I've got to say Ronaldo, Cristiano. I think R9 was better talent, but when you look at what Ronaldo's done in his career, you've got to go with Cristiano. But as pure talent, I think R9 was exceptional. Half time between Man City and Crystal Palace. Yeah, I mean, I think they both had chances. I mean, beyond the goals, Haaland had a couple of other chances, and Palace had a couple of other chances as well. So I think 1-1's a fair scoreline at half time. I think Man City will win, but they're gonna have to work for it. That's for sure. And intriguing game ahead in the second half. 2-2 between Brentford and Newcastle. Brentford living up to their amazing home form. Absolutely amazing. They're top of the league for home form and bottom of the league for away form. They've scored more goals than anybody else at home this season by a very long way. And we've got 4 goals there already. Villa are 1-0 up against Southampton. They would really like to get 3 points today. The league as it stands, if you're interested in that, Villa would be up to 5th with 25 points, having played a game more than Brighton, Fulham, Forest, etc. But that would be quite good for Villa after a bit of a difficult patch to win 2 games in a row. Brentford are drawing at the moment, but could go as high as 6th if they got a winner against Newcastle. Whereas if Newcastle won, they could go as high as 6th as well. So all to play for in the second half there. Man City at the moment would stay in 4th place, a point behind Chelsea and Arsenal. And they play, obviously, both tomorrow. So Man City would be looking to go into 2nd place, 6 points behind Liverpool with a second half goal/winner. Lots going on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way. We've got a live poll going on at the moment. Saka or Rodrigo. In fact, it's over because Saka won there. Well done, Saka. Could we please do an either-or poll? Daniel Day-Lewis or Robert De Niro? Also, would be keen to hear your answer to that, Mark. Great show, says Goldio. Very niche. He has done a super chat, so I try to... put those out when people are so kind as to do as a super chat. So there you go. Daniel Day-Lewis or Robert De Niro as actors. Get involved with that. Kieran Person says, "Oh, worries. Just curious, Mark, mate. I can't believe like we're approaching the end of the year again. It's true what they say. The older you get, the quicker the time goes. But I can't believe it. That wind, I'm telling you now, that bloody wind." Official Man United team news should be coming out very soon, but there are conflicting reports around who is going to start for Manchester United. A quote here from Sir Jim Radcliffe: "Man United have become mediocre. They're supposed to be one of the best football clubs in the world. We have to make tough and unpopular decisions. If you run away from tough decisions, nothing will change." Yeah, still people are saying that Rashford doesn't start for Manchester United tonight, which I'm quite surprised about, considering he didn't start against Arsenal. I would have thought he'd been nailed on. I wonder if it's... I wonder if he's going to not rotate as much then and maybe go like Rasmus Garnacho, put Bruno there. I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Just seeing this on Sky News. Everton fan Nathan Hamlin travelled 30 hours from Australia to watch the Merseyside derby, but because of the storm, it's been called off. Well, you know, that's bad luck, mate. Some people are saying, do you think the United game's going to get cancelled? Not now, no. I would be very stunned. Could we have done that one? De Niro is beating Daniel De-Lewis. Chances we see Neville versus Goldbridge. Man United watch-along, says Mikey. I'd say 0, mate. Speaking like a grown-up. Yeah. He's just got a massive problem with us, even though they copy a lot of what everyone else is doing. I don't really get it. Can't wait to brag City. I mean, if Carragher interacts with me on Twitter, he has to delete it because Gary says so. Can't wait to brag City winning to my schoolmates, says Brinley FN. Did you have a haircut, Mark, mate? No, I've just got that sort of hair where if I don't always style it. I sometimes just get gel and go through it, so it just looks a little bit different if I put a comb through it. And it depends how much gel I put in it and how much wet, so I can make it look different, but I don't do it on purpose. Key questions coming in. It's half time. Anana, Yoro, Delit, Martinez, Mainu, Ugarte, Delo, Ahmad, Bruno, Ganacho, Rasmus, says Cooper. I've seen that team. I'm not convinced it's the right one. Doesn't seem to be enough rotation. But we do need to win. So maybe he's looking strong tonight, weak in the Europa League, and then strong against Man City the next game after that. If I get blown away in a minute, like my whole house just tips over, don't be surprised. Do not be surprised, I tell you that. My chat is just completely and utterly frozen here. Get it back. There it is. Do you think City will beat us with their current form, says Vic? I think that Danilo is beating Daniel Day-Lewis, by the way. I think that Man City will be massive favourites against United, much the same Arsenal were as well. When will they? When will they? Mark, Goldstein called you out for a boxing match on TalkSport the other day. Mate, you can't call people out. It's like that's like somebody telling me, oh, Jim from Denver called you out in the local pub. If I'm not listening, how do I know about it? I don't listen to talk. I certainly wouldn't listen to his show. So I don't know, you know. I used to be on TalkSport. You could have called me out on you could have got me on your show, but you bottled it. And now you're calling me out afterwards. Weird behaviour. Watch Eyes Wide Shut. It's set at Christmas, says Ben. Eyes Wide Shut. Is that any good? You know what I wanted to watch? Batman Returns. I felt like watching Batman Returns. That's set at Christmas as well. Ben Shinobi's apparently given us a poll. What was your thoughts on Chicharito, says Daniel. I get asked this quite a lot. Really liked him. I think a lot of United fans liked having a Mexican player at Man United because we know we've got a lot of Mexican fans. And I think, you know, that whilst that sounds a little bit commercial, I also think it's important. It's like, it's really been a long time since we've had an Irish player playing for Man United, and that was always something that, you know, we regularly did have with the likes of McGrath and Irwin and Whiteside and Keane and O'Shea. So I think having Chicharito, you know, just from where the nationality was really nice. But then he was just a very unique sort of player that scored all sorts of goals. So yeah, very happy that we had him. Ben Shinobi says Ben White or Kyle Walker. Yes, we will do that. It's a good one. Either or's. I mean, I know what I think, but go for it. Ben Packer, thanks for your chat. Done that one. Can't wait to brag City. Salah versus Henry next. I will do that one, N15. Empire Strikes Back is the best Star Wars film by far, says Nathan. Absolutely. Absolutely. I completely agree with you about that one. What a banging film Die Hard is, says Samuel. Do you think Xerxes finding his form in the Premier League? I don't know whether he's starting, mate. I'm getting all sorts of stuff coming in. The only two we definitely know that are starting are, well, Yoro and Anana. But Who knows? Watch some Jason Statham films. They're hilarious, says Rub. I'd rather not. I would rather not. If you're going to include Whiteside as Irish, then include Evans. Otherwise, differentiate between Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. I'm sure there was some players that I didn't mention that were Irish or Northern Irish, mate. I was just giving examples of Irish players that have played for Manchester United. And having lived in Ireland for 3 years in Dublin, I don't need an education in you on what I can and can't say about Ireland. Thank you. Day Lewis, we've done. The critics don't like Empire when it came out. Just goes to show, says Gilbert. Let's not turn it into a film show. I watched Gremlins last week, though. Thank you very much. Ben White has battered Kyle Walker with 64% of the votes. There we go. We'll do that one. And then our next one is going to be either or. Henry or Salah. Go for it. I mean, look. Thierry Henry was a fantastic player in the Premier League. But again, it's a little bit like people not accepting that Van Dijk might be one of the best centre-backs the Premier League's ever had because it's recency compared to history. And while sometimes I think history gets misunderstood, I also think it gets overhyped. Now, Thierry Henry was a very good player at Arsenal, but honestly, it's closer than you think it is between Salah and Henry, because I watched Henry. Like, he was the player at Arsenal that was very scary for Man United when we were going up against them. So he was a fantastic player. It didn't feel like Henry was around for long. I think he was around longer than I thought. Brilliant, brilliant player. But Salah's done it for a long period of time, every year in the Premier League. So I know where I'd go, but I do think it's closer than some people would vote. Although the poll actually is close, so fair play. Who is more important for their club? Rodri for Man City, Odegaard for Arsenal, Palmer for Chelsea, or Salah for Liverpool? What a question by Tactical Dill. I think Rodri for Man City, we are living proof at the moment just to how fundamental he is to Manchester City. So I probably would say Rodri. I think Arsenal are better with Odegaard, Chelsea are better with Cole Palmer, and Liverpool are better with Salah. But I don't think Liverpool would fall apart without Salah. They wouldn't be as good, but they wouldn't fall apart. Man City have literally crumbled. They fell apart. So I think that I would have to say Rodri. As much as Salah would be a massive loss for Liverpool, and Odegaard has been a loss for Arsenal, they haven't literally fell apart. They might not be able to win the league without them, but they wouldn't not get top four. Whereas Man City just look a shambles without Rodri. It's embarrassing for Pep and Man City and the rest of their players just how one-man team they've displayed over the last 6 weeks. Thanks for your super chats, absolute legends. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner to do that. I'm going to be on the United stand straight after this because it's Man United against Forest. We're waiting on the official team news to come out. We're closing in on 278,000 subscribers, so please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Daily content on here, and we are live tomorrow for Chelsea's game at Spurs, which I think is going to be massive, to be honest with you. Yes, don't need to talk about that. I was going to talk about the Christmas schedule, but that's still quite a way away, actually, so I don't need to talk about that. Keep your questions coming in. Do you think Ange will get sacked, Mark? You'd be foolish to say he's not going to get the sack, considering the arguments with the fans. I think ever since that Man City game at the end of last season, I did worry about Ange because it just felt like his identity and attitude and aspirations were not in tune with Spurs. Like, he desperately wanted to beat Arsenal to get top four. He desperately wanted to beat Man City to get top four, but his players, his club and his fans were happy to lose to stop Arsenal winning the league. And I think ever since that moment, he's under contract, of course, but there's a realisation that I'm in charge of a club here that actually isn't ambitious in the same way that I am. Like, they're more focused on stopping Arsenal than getting in the Champions League. Did you see the clip of that woman saying Saka is the best right winger in the Premier League history on the overlap and everyone ignored her? Probably the worst take ever, says Goldio. Yeah. I like Saka. He's a fantastic player, but what was Mo Salah doing, you know? it's 50-50 between Thierry Henry and Salah. I tell you what, I would be happy about that if I was a Salah fan. I'd say that'll do me, thank you. The fact that it's close. Personally, I would just go Henry, and there might be a little bit of blinkers on from the past, but as I say, I think Salah's massively disrespected. So I don't know what Man City are doing here. I've played the game. I've played at Selhurst Park. That's not the way to the dressing room, so I don't know what they're all doing here. Dan says Salah's going to beat Henry's record for goals in like 100 less games, which is fantastic, isn't it? Apparently the official lineup for Man United is out. Onana, Yoro, De Ligt, Martinez, Ahmad, Agate, Mainu, Malacia. Not Malacia. Agate, Mainu, Delo, Bruno, Rasmus, Garnacho. That would mean no Mazraoui, though. I'm not convinced that's the right team, because I just think that wouldn't necessarily make a lot of sense. Jack says, Ange will want the sack since Spurs won't match his ambition. He deserves a better club, says Jack. And do you think that Liverpool can keep Trent and Van Dijk and Haaland? And that came in from Lung. You won't keep all of them, mate. You definitely won't keep all of them. I think that you might keep 2. You can't lose all 3, but I think Trent's gone. I think he wants to go and play at Real Madrid. Yeah. Why do you think Delo's playing for United? I just think Portuguese players just seem to be able to play every single game. Right, we're up and running. Who will get the first goal in the Premier League? I'm going to say it's going to come in at Brentford. I still think Man City will win this game. Yeah. What managers are on the chopping block, in your opinion? I think barring the obvious 2, Dyche and Ange days are numbered. I think Dyche needs to go at some point, but I think there's no point getting rid of Dyche until the end of the season. It's a bit like David Moyes, isn't it? You know, he'll keep Everton up, new stadium, and if I was Everton, I would be so pissed off, because I'd be looking at Southampton, Bournemouth, Brighton, Fulham, Brentford. I'd be looking at their style of play and I'd be going, why are we playing a brand of football that is just so, dull, really, when teams that are not as big as Everton are playing good football? And I think that's what Everton need to do. Ange, I think, look, at some point that's just going to, end, isn't it? But I think that the game on Monday night really is surely the game where it's about sacking, because it's O'Neill of Wolves against Lopetegui of West Ham, and I think whoever loses that could be problematic. Mark, would you ever come back to Northern Ireland, says John? I'm sure I would, yes. LFC Gamer and Vlog says, hi Mark, what non-Christmas films do you always watch every Christmas? Some of mine include The Great Escape, The Italian Job, and Casablanca. I think when I was a kid, we always used to watch The Sound of Music for some reason. And Lord of the Rings. Yeah. The Revenant. I don't know why I always watch The Revenant at Christmas. It's got nothing to do with Christmas. It's got snow in it. So they'd be my top 3. The Revenant, Sound of Music, and what was the other one I just said? Lord of the Rings. Home Alone is a Christmas film, Jason, you prat. Listen. Good question, though, from Joker. Step in a Christmas, step in a Christmas. Everybody, everybody, step in a Christmas. The Revenant's the bear film with DiCaprio in it, yeah. 50-50 still between Henry and Salah. I can't believe this poll. I really can't. La la dee la 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 dee la la. Have all the National League games been called off then? Doesn't look like there are any today. What's going on there? It's all Man City at the moment, just knocking the ball about. Mateta will score, says Dan. Mark, would you rather have Slot or Almiron at United, says John. Oh, Almiron? Why would I have Almiron? He plays for Newcastle. I'd definitely take Slot. Amorim or Slot? I'll have Amorim, thanks. I'm not going to choose a current Liverpool manager over a current Man United manager who's just getting started. Rooney or Bruno? Vic, you should be banned for that. Rooney or Bruno? Oh, my God. That is absolutely atrocious, mate. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. Thought we had a goal then. We haven't. It's like saying Rooney or Harvey Barnes. Oh no, I mean Bruno's better than Harvey Barnes, but you know what I mean. It's like saying Rooney or Maddison. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean Rooney was so good, like so good, especially like when he broke on around 2004. Rooney from 2004 to like 2011. Whew. What a player. Do you think you'll do any F1 streams? If it ever got competitive again, I would. But I've got to say I've lost interest since that debacle where Hamilton was robbed by that stupid last lap bullshit. I just lost interest with F1. I know a lot of people did. I was really into it and then I just lost interest then. But that F1 was brilliant that season, and it looked like it was going to be really good, and then they just messed it up. They were apparently bringing in technology to make the cars more equal, and actually brought in rules that made Red Bull just dominate the shit out of it. Ridiculous. Do you reckon if Ange gets beat off Rangers, he's gone? Says Boom. No, I think the Chelsea game's more important than that tomorrow, mate. I think if he loses at home to Chelsea, that's a problem. Martin says, do you remember when Rooney almost joined Chelsea? No, I remember Gerrard nearly joined Chelsea. There's a whole big story around that, isn't there? I mean, I don't know whether it's myth, Liverpool myth, but I remember like Gerrard, lovely play, into the box, cuts it back, leave it, Eze shoots, stupid. That was good for Palace. They should have done a lot better there. Yeah, there was this myth that, well, same myth. There was this story that Gerrard was going to sign for Chelsea. Because even United got linked to Gerrard. And apparently he was going to go to Chelsea. And it was really, really close. And then it didn't happen and he stayed at Liverpool. And there was this story going around that it was something to do with like a organised crime group in Liverpool who basically had a word with Gerrard and, you know, reminded him of his loyalty to Liverpool or something. But, I mean, I don't know. There was a story about Kanchelskis leaving United and the Russian mafia, wasn't there? So, in fact, I mentioned that in my book. I mean, you never know. You never know. I think it was better for Gerrard's career that he stayed at Liverpool. His legacy. I don't know how it would have worked at Chelsea with him and Lampard, considering it didn't fucking work for England. I have many companies. If I was Neville, I would approach United Stand. You have the platform, I have the resources. Together could form something sensational. You have the problem. Yeah, no, we're not going to get into that here, Parker, but yeah. Yeah, it would be seamless, but Neville's got a very strange personality. Let's leave it at that point. makes his mind up about people without actually speaking to them. But then again, if you're getting up at 4 o'clock every morning, you know, something's not quite there. When is the Friday episode of the podcast returning, and who'll be top at Christmas? That is all, says Sean. We've got a lot going on with the podcast at the moment, which you'll find out about in the new year. But we're back on Monday on this channel. And I don't know whether we're back next Friday, but thanks for your question. Bellingham or Bruno, says Ahmed. I mean, that's a good one. I will do that. I'm going to close this poll off because it's gone to Henry 51% twice and then it drops back down to 50%. So we're going to say Henry there, but I quite like that one. I want to do this one. Either or. Bruno Fernandes or Bruno Fernandes or Bellingham. Goal, 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 goal. Man United team news should be out now. Don't they normally drop the team out an hour and 15 before these days? Or is it still an hour before? I thought it was an hour and 15 before. Yeah, so it is Anana, De Ligt, Yoro, Martinez, Delo, Ahmad, Rasmus, sorry, Agate, Mainu, Rasmus, Garnacho, Bruno. So that team was right. Rashford on the bench, Xerxes on the bench, Mount on the bench, Casemiro on the bench, Mazraoui on the bench, Eriksen on the bench. No place for Anthony. So all those people that were talking about him, probably wrong. Goal! Crystal Palace from a corner, 2-1. Get in! Lacroix, the legend from FIFA 21, has scored a goal for Crystal Palace. He leaps like a salmon, he heads it in like a pinball flipper, and it's 2-1 to Crystal Palace. And that, my friends, is a big goal in this game, and it's a big goal against Man City, and it's 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Lovely stuff there. Yeah, again, who's at fault? I think it's Kyle Walker again, isn't it? He's a fucking liability. It is Kyle Walker again. Kyle Walker again. Palace, we've got a goal. I don't know which was quicker because I said Brentford would. That would be the game to get the first goal of the second half. Collins in the 56th minute has made it 3-2 to Brentford. 5 goals there again already. And the 57th minute was Lacroix, so I was right. I said Brentford would get the first goal of the second half, and they did. So Brentford lead 3-2 against Newcastle. Crystal Palace lead 2-1 against Man City, who are going to have to turn this around very, very quickly. Otherwise, they're staring down the barrel of another Premier League loss. Well, still time to go. Do you think Rooney was overrated or underrated, says Phil? No, I think Rooney was just about right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that United game, obviously, but I'm looking forward to seeing that lineup because I think Bruno needs to play behind the striker, Garnacho, Rasmus, Agate, Mainu. I'm hoping we're going to see some chances created for the front three today, because it was a tough ask against Arsenal. I still do think City can get something out of this, by the way. I'm surprised they've conceded again from getting back into it, but I do think they'll score again. 2-1 Palace. City in the mud, says Gaz H. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Excited to see Yoro, says Ryan. This wind. It's oppressive. But it's Palace who've been impressive. Eze needs to switch that. Didn't switch it quick enough there. Hey, Hayder's right. Palace away is a tough place to go. I've always said that. Fulham are the quintessential Premier League side, even though Will tried to nick it. And Crystal Palace is a hard place to go. Did you see the video of a Scouser harassing Pep on the street? I did. I didn't actually think it was that amazing, really. I mean, they said something to him and he reacted. He's a human being. I actually didn't really have a problem with that. I'm going to go Man United 3, Forest 0. Look, I'm not looking forward to that game because I think that could be a tough game for United in the sense of they're potentially a difficult side. And they're certainly high up in the league, aren't they? So it could be problematic. Oh, James Bond's on. What channel is that on? View to Kill. Is it View to a Kill? Yeah, View to a Kill's on ITV. That's a good film. Most overrated player of the best teams in the Premier League, says Jonathan. Piss off. Mate, that's like a series, and you think I'm answering that for a super chat? No. Most overrated player of the best teams in the Premier League? No. Oh, fucking hell, mate, that'll take me ages. I'll just get my encyclopedia out of top 5 players from each club that was overrated and decide. You can people can throw people in if they want, though. Bellingham has battered Bruno, by the way, 74%. Thanks everyone who voted in on that. That was not close. I don't fancy our chances against City. I don't know. Andre Gomez says, I fancy our chances against City more than I did for Arsenal. Yeah, Man City's next game is United. And therefore United's next game is Man City after Forest. You're right. I fancy City to get back into this. It's still half an hour to go. You can't defend for that long. Really. It's it'll be a long time to do it. 21 goals conceded in 9 games for Man City, says J5th. Thanks, pal. Still 3-2 Brentford, Newcastle. Still 1-0 Villa, Southampton. So it could be 3 home wins here. Don't often get that. Have we done Lampard or Gerrard? About 1 million times, Peter. And Simon Gildroy says, I've said it before, Rodri missing is like Keane missing for United in 97, 98. But we dealt with that better, mate. We stayed in a title race against a very good Arsenal side. I always say that Arsenal double winning side from 98 is one of the best Arsenal sides I've seen. And United lost Keane for most of the season. And we still managed to push them for the title. So look at Man City without Rodri, it's a bit different. There's a long way to go for Palace here. They'd be better off just playing the game the way they've played it. You know, keep the tenacity. Don't dig. Don't drop too deep. I do think Man City miss Alvarez as well. I remember one of you lot saying it a few weeks ago, and we never really got to discuss it. I mean, Rodri's the big loss. If they still had Rodri, they'd be absolutely fine. But I do think they miss Alvarez because the goals that Alvarez gave you across a season were actually significant and have not been replaced. And I thought it was a bit of a weird deal to do, to not replace him with like somebody that's going to get you goals. What do you think about players without shin protectors? In my opinion, they deserve a kick, says Leper Messiah. Well, yeah. I don't entirely agree with you, but chat shit, get banged, isn't it? You know, if you're not wearing your shin pads, then and you get caught. I mean, I used to wear shin pads with the ankle protectors. You know, the ones where you slip them over your foot. Palace on the break again. They're enjoying themselves. Mateta. Was that Mateta shooting? It was stupid if he did. I am still... You know what, though? When I talk about City and you talk about the absence of Rodri, that makes them a one-man team. And I look at this Man City side, and I do think that they should be performing better. I still think they should be performing better than this, and I actually expected them to be performing better than this. So I don't really understand what's going on with them, because De Bruyne is back there, very good player. They're just not dominating teams like they used to. And I wonder if we're seeing a slight evolution of football as well, that the Man City pressing and tiki-taka has sort of been... Everybody's evolved to it, or everybody's playing it, I don't know. I'm watching View to a Kill as well. I've got in my live chat, I've got a View to a Kill. Man City have been at the top for ages. It was expectable for me, says Ritmo. Well, they've just scored 2-2. 23 minutes to go. I did say I fancied Man City to still win this. And they've got plenty of time to do it. Yeah, it was a good goal by Man City. Lewis. Lovely ball by Bernardo Silva, and then he finished it really well. A good goal, to be fair. They'll go on. I think they'll go on and win this now. Twice behind. Surely it won't happen again. DJ says Reet's got a lot in his locker. HMJ says, what do you think about the overlap doing watch-alongs? I think it feels very much like it's not even a competition, because it's almost. I think the best way to describe it is they're sort of saying watchers watch the game, whereas I'm saying watch the game with me. So it's a very different thing, isn't it? I'm very much about interaction and community, and they're never going to be able to do that with 4 people. It's impossible. Remember when I used to go on the kickoff with Loz and Brian, and there was just no interactivity on there either, because you can't have 4 guests and be interactive. It's impossible. It's 2-2 here. I've got to change the score. I'm not used to doing it. I suspect I might be changing it again. Who's going to finish higher? Man United, Tottenham or Villa? I tell you what, it's hard to say. It really is. I'll probably say Villa. In relation to the Villa game, by the way, they have had less possession but more shots. 12 shots to 4, 2 shots on target. Southampton haven't had a shot on target, but have gone away from home 54%. I don't get the Southampton thing. I really don't. So we've got about, what, 20 minutes to go? Oh, View to a Kill's just finished. Oh, The Holiday is on Channel 5. I do like that. Why are they doing that? Why are they putting that on? That film's longer than an hour and a half. I thought that film went on for ages. Oh, Man United's on Sky. I thought it was on BT. As a United fan for 40 years, I would rather Man City win than another title than Liverpool. I'd rather Arsenal win it, to be honest. What Ezzy's coming off for Palace here. Surprising. Well, it might not be surprising, but he's off. What's happened to... Is he injured? What's happened to Wharton? Went to the bloody Euros, didn't he? Or did he miss out? Can't remember. Still coming back from injury, says Jack. Thank you. 20 minutes to go here. I think Man City will get the winner. It's just got that feel about it, hasn't it, at the moment? Lima says, I think Glasner's a terrible manager. They sort of had that glow up, didn't they? When he first came. And they have struggled. But Man City's experience is starting to show now. And you'd fancy them to win it. What do you think about the Man United lineup, says Mayor? I'm happy. I'm happy about it. I mean, I desperately want to see shit shot by De Bruyne. I really want to see Rasmus playing up front in a game where he's getting some service, and I would hope that would happen today. I think Garnacho starting is quite interesting again, having started against Arsenal. Bruno back in the position that I think he's better off playing in. Yoro starts, Agate and Mainu for the first time. Yeah, looking forward to it. Peter says, is it our best starting lineup? Well, probably not, because you've got Mazraoui, who's not playing. Thanks for all your super chats today, by the way. We've had some good either-ors as well. mean, Henry and Salah being close was an eye-opener. 51% win for Henry against Mo Salah. Don't forget we're sponsored by Manscaped. I can't figure it out. There. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code FOOTY exclusively for That's Football viewers. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Male grooming and lovely play by Man City. Can they get the shot off? And wow, they should have scored there. It's going to be a corner, but they should have scored. Almost passing it in. Apparently, Mikel Antonio has been involved in an RTA, a road traffic accident. Thoughts and prayers of everyone at the club are with him at the moment. The club will issue an update in due course. And that does not sound good, does it? That does not sound good. I mean, hopefully it's just minor and everything, but you don't normally put statements out like about that. Lots of footballers do get into. I mean, I remember Marcus Rashford had one last season after a match, and nothing was really made of it other than to say, it was minor. But that's a statement from West Ham to say that Mikel Antonio has been in a road traffic accident and thoughts are with him and his family at the moment. They'll issue a statement soon. So that does not, on the face of it, that sounds quite concerning. And obviously thoughts and prayers are with him. And his family. We'll have to wait and see. As Greg Donald said, hopefully he's all right. JP Music says, there's a YouTuber who bought Rashford's crash car and rebuilt it. It's a good watch. I remember Ronaldo had a crash as well. Do you feel conflicted, says NAU? Do you feel like you're a knobhead? I mean, it's not even funny. The pictures don't look good, says Tom. "15 minutes to go. Still 3-2 between Brentford and Newcastle. Still 1-0 to Villa at home to Southampton. That's happened to Villa before. They were 1-0 up late on against Bournemouth. They got an equaliser and it ended up being a draw. Have you ever watched the film Bend It Like Beckham? No. That's the one with Jack Grealish in it, isn't it? Oh no, Keira Knightley. Sorry. Do you have a soft spot for Forest, being as you were brought up there? No. No, I don't. Man City getting away with a lot of fouls. Strange, says Father. Yes. I haven't seen Bend It Like Beckham. I know the film, but I've never bloody sat and watched it. I mean, there's loads of films. I know of films. It doesn't mean I've watched. I mean, I don't know what sort of mood I'd have to be to go, I'm going to watch Bend It Like Beckham. And it just doesn't tick any box for me. I'm not really interested in films with football. I mean, The Damned United is a good football film, but I think football is always shit in film. I can watch football all the time. I don't think it works very well in film. Yeah. Are we going to get any more? I mean, I know I talk about it a lot, but I do just want to continue to shout out Brentford. I think it's incredible how many goals they're scoring at home, how many games they're winning at home. It's absolutely fantastic. Here comes Doku. I think it's Savio who's gone off. Yeah, I don't have any other details about this Antonio incident other than he's been in a car crash. I don't think anybody has any details at all. I think Fabrizio Romano has put a tweet out about it. which is, I think is a bit odd because it's just a repetition of the official statement from West Ham. I suppose he's an aggregator as well. Some people are saying the car's in a right state. Good header away by Palace. I thought that was going to be an equaliser. Ah, yeah. There's a picture online of a Ferrari that's absolutely trashed. But, you know, who knows? Of course, it always makes me think of what's his name. He used to play for Arsenal, Reyes. That was horrific, wasn't it? Please, Haaland score, says Miha. United! Coventry are beating Millwall. Frank Lampard. I don't think that sounds like it's going to be... I wouldn't speculate on anything, to be honest with you. I don't think that sounds... I think that sounds a bit concerning for Antonio, though. It's just the level of concern. Is it like career threatening? Is it like more serious than that? But it doesn't sound. It's not normal behaviour from a football club to put a statement out about a car crash and just say thoughts and prayers are with the player and his family at this moment in time. Because as I said, lots of footballers getting crashes, and it's just like front page news because they smash up a Lamborghini or whatever. So it does sound like that might be serious in some way, shape or form, but speculating on it, there's no point. Here's Man City on the attack. I feel that the winner's coming at some point, and it's another corner. Do you think Mazraoui's been dropped because of the LGBTQ sweater? Absolutely not. He's probably been rotated because he's played a lot of football. Jamie says he's walked out the car, he's fine. Yeah, and Jamie's source is Mr. Tomato. De Bruyne. Oh, Doku should have shot. He tried to square it. Palace break away. No, they're not going to break away now. Need some support. Yeah, Mazraoui's definitely been rotated out of the team. Joker says, do you have any soft spots for other teams? I have one for United because I know it winds Liverpool fans in my family up. Everton fan myself. I don't really, Joker, have any soft spots for anybody. I mean, I just watch so much football that I don't need a soft spot for anybody else. I just enjoy watching football, so I can watch. Well, I watch a lot of them with you, don't I? I mean, I'll enjoy like Liverpool, Man City last week, even though I don't really like either team. I just enjoy watching football and immerse myself in that. But I've never really understood the second team thing. There's United, and then there's football. I love football, so I like to watch football. There'd be games where I'd prefer somebody to win, like Chelsea-Tottenham tomorrow. Probably not massively bothered, but would probably want Tottenham to win because I quite like Ange. But yeah, little niche things like that. I don't know, I quite like Brighton doing well, but as soon as I expect them to do well, they start dropping bloody points. I mean, 1 point from Southampton at home and Southampton at home and Brighton away. Fulham away. God, if they drew with themselves, if they lost to themselves, that'd be terrible. Uh, 7 minutes to go here. It is. Oh, he's got to go. He's got to go. That has got to be a second yellow for Lewis. He's got to go. He's got to go. If he doesn't send it yet, he's got to go. Second yellow. Off you go. Red card for City. You know what? I wish I'd said it a few minutes ago because I actually was thinking that he was looking a bit reckless. And on a yellow card, a young lad, he's trying to get in the game. And I think that it is 100%. You can't review a second yellow card anyway. He's basically trying to win the ball back. Oh, mate. He actually gets caught himself. I don't think he commits the foul. Although, no, he does. There's enough there. That's a second yellow. That is a second yellow. Doesn't mean City can't get back into it, but yeah, you can't. I mean, that's just the naivety of a kid, isn't it? Really. He's learnt to spit like Pep. I don't think it was a terrible call, Kate. Actually, I think it was reckless by him. It didn't look as bad as it might have been, but you know, he's lunged in, and it's silly to do it. Would you have Mazraoui in for Delo or Yoro? Delo, Jack. Yeah. Who was in an accident? Says Shahin. Mikel Antonio from West Ham. It was a second yellow. It wasn't a straight red. Everybody, it definitely wouldn't be a straight red. It was a second yellow. And you can't review them on VAR. Keira Knightley's coming on. Oh, I mean Jack Grealish is coming on. We got mixed up because we were talking about Bend It Like Beckham. De Bruyne goes off. NAU says, watch the image of Antonio's car. Absolutely horrible. That's if it is that car, mate. I mean, there's people saying that it might not be. Mate, I 100% think that's a yellow card. I realise the Palace player ends up kicking Lewis, but does Lewis get the ball? No. Does Lewis lunge in? Yes. Does Lewis lunging in late initiate the contact? Yes. So 100% yellow card for me. I think people saying it's never a second yellow. Watch it back. At no point is he in control of the ball, and at no point does he get any of the ball. He's late in on the player. Therefore, it's reckless, and you don't have to not, make contact with a player. It's wild what he does. Easily a second yellow card for me. Not a red. Wasn't given a red. He was given a second yellow. Oh, did he get the ball? I think he did. Nunez. I still think City could win this. I would not be surprised. Lewis out means Walker definitely starts against United, says Tanishk. 58 Go said it was never a yellow card. No other goals at the moment. Still 3-2 to Brentford against Newcastle, and still 1-0 to Villa with that goal from Duran in the first half against Southampton. Will Palace go for a winner themselves? I think they'd be very happy with a point, to be fair. Yeah, I'm live on That's United Stand. It's not called That's United Stand. I'm live on the United Stand straight after this for the United against Forest game. Looking forward to that. Hopefully be 3 points. Quite a strong United side. Need to start winning some games now. But Man City are still attacking here. I still think with 10 men they're capable. I wouldn't have took De Bruyne off. Janky says Forest and United are on the same level. I think you'll find Forest are above United at the moment. I can't remember by how many points. We're just about to hit stoppage time here. When was the last time Man City won on the road? I mean, they lost to Bournemouth. They lost to Brighton. They've lost to Liverpool. I can't remember their last away Premier League. Wolves. It must have been Wolves, yeah. And that was a last-minute one, wasn't it? Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. There's only 4 minutes being added on here. There's still time for City. Henderson gets on it. Haaland was there waiting on the back post. Got another goal for Brentford. Unbelievable. 4 goals again. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Brentford 4-2. Shade. Mad, absolutely mad. Credit to them, absolute credit to them. It's just unbelievable, unbelievable, Jeff. Where does that put Brentford? 6th with 23 points. It's amazing. If it stays like this, Villa are only 2 points behind Man City, and Brentford are only 4. If it stays like this, Palace have still got the ball. On the attack, 2 minutes to go. Going to win a corner here. Fasten your seatbelts. I mean, Ivan Toney, anyone heard from him since he went to Saudi? I mean, Brentford are better without Ivan Toney. It's incredible. This would be... no, Man City aren't losing. They're drawing. Yellow card. Foul on Grealish. It was a bit wild on Grealish, to be fair. Oh. And Ketia. I think he could have got something a little bit worse than there. It did look bad. Have you heard the sad news about Mikel Antonio, says Mohammed? Well, we've heard that he's been in a car crash. I don't think anything's been released about injuries or anything like that yet at the moment. And obviously we're all hoping that, as the statement goes around on the TV again, that West Ham can confirm that striker Mikel Antonio was involved in a road traffic accident earlier today. A statement to follow. So thoughts and prayers of everyone at the club with friends and family. It does worry you a little bit that, I mean, look, you should never speculate, but it does worry you a little bit that it was earlier today, and I just wonder what the injuries could be, but I guess we'll just have to hope that it's Nothing too serious. Palace have got a late corner here. I'm straight over onto the United stand straight after this, by the way, so join me over there. And it's finished 2-2. Crystal Palace 2, Man City 2. That is a great, great result. A great, great result for Crystal Palace. Absolutely fantastic for them. I will see you over on the United game in 5 minutes. Thanks everyone for watching.